Queen.
Yes. Hi, Jason. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. So I was looking through those emails you sent me from Laurel, and, I think you saw George was in the comments on the video earlier tonight with King James and Mr. Hudson and Joe, and he was saying that I somehow have the keys to the whole case with this 123 email. Now, the email that you sent me previously is an email of Laurel sending to 123@house.gov. Did you get to speak to her, and does she have any emails actually coming from Imran at 123.house.gov?
Yeah, actually, I did check in with Laurel because we discussed that when you and I had discussed that when we were looking at these emails. And so Laurel said that she did not have any emails. She never got an email response from Imran Awan from that 123 address.
All the emails from Imran are from that Imran Awan 1 at Gmail, right?
Correct. That's where any of the responses. We have a number of Imran's conversations with her in email, and they all come from his Gmail address. There are none from the 123 mail.
So how does Luke Rosiak presume that this is some secret email account that's still active? I mean, how do we know it's not? He could have given her that email address in 2014.
Yes, we actually tested that out.
So basically, Luke just has decided this is a secret. I mean, I don't know how he thinks it's still what he considers active, unless he has emails from Imran. So what is that Luke article? He's got some court document or something. If we just look up 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Well, let me explain this to you. Because we had we're researching this a little after we started to look at the fact that Laurel never received an email from that address. Mm-hmm. Then we started looking at Luke Rosiak's information, and he states in his article that there are court documents with this same email on it. And yes, right. that court document is dated 10/18/16. However,
but wait, I'm looking at this right now. This is an affidavit, default judgment, Service Member Civil Relief Act. This is just a handwritten document. The following facts support the statement above. This is some affidavit that someone wrote. As he told me that he worked for the House of Representatives, his email is 123@mail.house.gov. This is just a handwritten document from someone saying that Imran told her that that's his email address. That's not necessarily proof of a secret email address.
That's correct. And actually, I was under the impression when everything I've heard about, and I kind of skimmed through the article a number of days ago, but I was under the impression, I should have looked more closely at those documents, but I was under the impression that that Imran Awan had actually written his email address in a court document himself.
Right.
That's the impression I got from the article. However, what you just read is the accurate description of what took place. Imran never submitted that email to any court.
This is somebody else saying that he's okay.
Yes.
So let's say Imran tells this person, "Hey, my email address is 123@mail.house.gov." Maybe that's just some test email address for the administrator of the mail server at the house. Maybe this is a totally innocuous account. So all right, so he gives it to Laurel. Laurel was dealing with him in 2014, 2015, right?
Correct.
So let me try sending an email right now to 123@mail.house.gov, and let's see what happens.
Okay, sounds good.
And we'll just say, is this a real email address? Hi, Imran. Love, Jason.
At Crowdsource the Truth.
Yeah, it's from my Crowdsource the Truth email address. So let's see if that bounces back. Because, I mean, how does Luke presume that it's still active? Is Luke getting emails from Imran Awan at that address? Or he's just, I mean, this could just be Luke Rosiak imagining something here and making it into a big deal. And then George is basing his whole case on it and saying that I have the keys to everything. Why didn't George say anything about the box in the basement with the Cox cable hookup and the RJ45 connectors and all the cabling with her son's skateboarding?
That's an excellent question, because it seems to me that George actually missed the whole point.
He was saying there was a server at the Hawkshead house with Taggart, but Taggart didn't find. Taggart said he found print servers and things that were new in the box, not hooked up to active Cox cable accounts.
Well, it is our understanding, based on Andre's interview and based on the interview with Laurel, if you compare those interviews, they're very, very different in terms of substances or the articles or anything that was found.
Right.
It's a completely different situation.
Right, right. So this email's not coming back immediately. What happens if I send an email to 321@house.mail.gov?
Okay, let's see what happens. I'm curious.
Is this a real email address? Ah, well, that bounced back right away. That says undeliverable. So, okay, so that 123@house.mail.gov is still receiving emails, but what was the statement from that guy, Bennett, or what was that guy's name, who they said it was his address?
Well, according to Luke Rosiak's article, this Representative Bennett was associated with that email address.
What does that mean?
Well, apparently no one's claiming it. When you read the article, you'll see that Carson's office or Bennett doesn't seem to claim the email at all. They say they have no control over this email and don't appear to understand, that there's, they don't seem to have any connection to it. They're denying that connection, like that they have any control. That's their phrasing. Right. They have no control over the 123 address.
Right. So this Daily Caller article from August 29th here, written by Luke Rosiak, it's saying that a landlord mentioned the address in a claim he filed against Awan for unpaid rent at an apartment. He told me that he worked for the House of Representatives and his email is 123@mail. I mean, is this some made-up email address that Imran... I mean, what for real, what if this is just some test email address that the administrator of the mail server uses to... What if it's just a dump, like a mail sinkhole that you can just, send test emails to test the server? I don't think this is proof of some super secret email address. This seems more like just an empty dummy email address associated with nothing.
I had to reach that conclusion myself after reading through all the article and then putting this together and realizing that there absolutely was no documented or published email from that address sent by Imran Awan.
And so Luke just arrived at the assumption that it's still active on the day that he wrote the article by sending an email to it and having it not bounce.
I think we could assume that.
Well, I'd love to hear from Luke, but when I tried to speak to him outside of Imran's hearing a couple weeks ago, he was kind of rude to me, and actually Andre Taggart told me that Luke called him and said if he wants to speak to someone in the real media, Luke would hook him up with the Washington Post. I was quite confused by that. Why is Luke trying to get people interviews at the Washington Post, and why is he disparaging my interview with Andre Taggart? I'd love to speak to Luke. He's got some explaining to do about how he arrived at these conclusions here. Doesn't seem like very good journalism to me.
It appears to be a lot of fluff and spin, and actually, unfortunately for George, he's bought it hook, line, and sinker.
All right. Well, and he's also scared off Laurel, so I don't know what we're going to do about finding more information about this. So thanks for that, George. All right, Queen, listen, I think we both got to get to sleep. I'm just going to put this out and let people figure out what they can about it.
Okay, see you, Jason.
Good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.